Thanks for being here. Forgot that part. Let's see. There we go. There we go. All right, first we're going to check out this audio and make sure everything's still good. And then we will get going. Good. Oh, I got to turn this off because we got to get rid of that lag. Here we go. All right, let's check the audio. Where am I here? All right, we're good. So let me know how the audio sounds so we can move forward, and then I'm not here wasting my time. Hopefully that audio is good. Awesome. All right, so we're gonna go. So we'll give people, I'm just gonna get right into it. I'm gonna try not to take up too much time tonight. I'm super excited the audio is here. So I think from this point on, we'll be good. We'll be good with doing these lives, as long as we don't run into any issues that we can't control. So we will. I'll recap on this purple street light, this black light thing, real quick. That'll give other people a minute to get here if they want to, and we will. Then we'll go over some new stuff. So some potentially crazy stuff that just came up. So the purple street lights. In a nutshell, how this came about for me was, and I gotta say real quick, somebody, I don't know if that person is in here or not. I'm kind of guessing probably not, I don't know. But somebody, I posted the video, the test live last night that turned into the notification that said we were gonna do this video tonight. I guess I didn't have the time to go through the comments, but somebody told me about one of the comments, and somebody said that this was already covered weeks ago on Marfoogle News. And Dorothy was a Dorothy. Dorothy is a G. Yeah, she jumped in there before I could even say anything, just to clear it up, nicely to clear it up, and tell that person, not throwing anybody under the bus or whatever. So I'm not naming anybody. But yes, that was in fact me on Marfoogle News that covered this. And it was actually, I think it was more like 2 months ago, or it could have been more than that. And but the thing is with that, and I'm not going to stray too much, this is one of the things, I make some little skit videos and stuff with some of the comments, and things don't bother me, like personally. I've always said that it is impossible to offend me, right? But anytime you're going to put yourself out there and you're going to do something like this, that wasn't like mean. That wasn't mean. But you know what I mean? Why would you come out and say, this was already covered? Somebody already did this weeks ago. Old news, right? So but why would you come out and say that? And also, back about 21 years ago, on September 12th, did anybody contact CNN and were like, hey, New York Times already covered that. So we don't talk about it anymore. Come on, what is that? What is that? Somebody owns it. So maybe I reported on it first. Now nobody else can. I don't know who was first to do it. I would imagine somebody talked about this before me, but I know when I first started doing it, I couldn't find anything on it, which is why I started doing it. But I just thought that was funny. Yeah, that was me that was on Marfoogle talking about that. So, and awesome. We appreciate Marfoogle. There's a lot of Foogle fam here, and I appreciate all of you. But yeah, thanks for reminding me that I have talked about this already, and many times, and I'm sure we'll talk about it more. So the way this came about for me was I hadn't seen these lights yet, and somebody had told me, hey, did you see those purple lights on the highway? I said, no. I hadn't really traveled on the highway for a while, and I was like, and they explained it to me. They said, oh, it's like black lights, it's like a tunnel of black lights almost you're driving down. And there's a whole bunch of them. So I went, and you've seen them on video now on these videos. Many of you have seen them for yourself now. But I went and looked, and I was amazed. I couldn't believe it. It literally was like they replaced everything with black lights. And honestly, it looked pretty cool, but I wondered why. It's not good for lighting. It's actually harder on the eyes than a white light. So it didn't make sense to me. But then a local news story popped up and said, hey, if any of you are seeing these purple streetlights, don't pay any attention to it. It's just a little issue, a little error. that the manufacturer made in the lights, and they're purple instead of white. No big deal, and they're going to fix it. So the manufacturer is going to fix it at their cost, right? No cost to the taxpayer, because obviously the taxpayer would be funding all these lights. So for the first purple light to go up, we paid for that, right? And the cost, I know some of you asked, and that's one of the things I was going to bring up again. We talked about it before, but the exact cost per light, $4,498.53. That's for each one of those lights. So if you see in some of these videos and what you're seeing yourself when you go out, hundreds and hundreds of them just in one area, you know, and across the entire country and then across the entire world, that's a lot of money. But it's just a mistake, right? They want you to think it's just a little localized thing. No big deal, nothing to see here. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. They're going to fix it. So I was like, wow, that's going to cost $5,000 each, which I got some public records from the DOT and got that, and I got the shop reports and everything, all their contracts, everything on it. And wow, they're going to take quite a hit, $5,000 each for all of these. And they insist taxpayers not going to pay a dime. So plus the cost of labor, right? So whatever it's going to cost them, that's crazy. That's a lot of money they're going to shell out. But with a little bit of research, right off the bat, I see that the same little local news story across the entire country. In every state in the country, I find the same exact news story. And then look out further, it's in Canada, it's in the UK, it's all over the place. The same news story. So people are seeing these everywhere. Local news in different areas are putting it out in your hometown news just to let you know, hey, no big deal, don't pay any attention. Same thing I saw here. Don't worry about it, it's going to be fixed. So now if we take that cost to $5,000 each, and what I was looking at was in one part of, you know, Florida, one little tiny part of Florida, but they're all over Florida. And then they're in every other state, the UK, Canada, they're all over. I guess we better be careful about talking about Canada even right now. That's probably frowned upon though, huh? But awesome for them. Coming to DC soon too, but we'll be careful. But that's a lot of money, $5,000 each. So you start thinking about it, and would that not bankrupt a company? What kind of company must that be? They're going to be able to afford $5,000 each, right? So it didn't make any sense. Didn't make any sense, and it didn't take long for us to figure out, that's not right. These are intentionally purple. What we're seeing is exactly what's supposed to be there. Because also, at the same time, and again, I'm just recapping here, does nobody test lights that they put up? So, and they continue to pop up. So I'm still getting emails and comments in previous videos on this, and people telling me in emails that, you know, I hadn't seen these, but I've been paying attention. I watch your videos. They just popped up. They just popped up. Now they're popping up here. Lots of people are saying that. So they identified this mistake months back, right? That they're defective. And for some reason, nobody tested them in putting them up. Not just in my area here where I found them, but in your area, wherever you are, the UK, they don't check them there. Canada, they don't check them here. California, Massachusetts, Indiana, Georgia, wherever you are, Washington, they don't check them apparently. Everybody's just lazy. All these workers who install these lights, just lazy. They don't test them. $5,000 each, and you're not going to test them? That could be pretty cost effective. Or not cost ineffective, I guess. Costly. The analogy I used before was, I've always been big into like LED lighting and things inside the house and vehicles too, right? And I like LED headlights, and I buy good ones. And so for example, a set of the LED headlights that I like are $100, 2 bulbs, right? Just for the low beam, 2 bulbs, $100. But when I put one in, it's not a huge job, right? You got to pull out the headlight assembly, change out the bulb. You might have to make some alterations a little bit to make it fit. But before I put it all back together, it's $50, right? One bulb is $50, $50. Before I put it all back together, I make sure it works, make sure it's the right color temperature that I ordered. make sure everything's going to work before I go through all the trouble of putting it all back together. Why would I do that, right? Put everything back together, put it in there, then turn it on and be like, ah, crap. You know, they're purple. They're supposed to be bright white. They're purple. You know, that would be stupid, because now I'm going to have to, it's not going to cost me, I'm going to return them, but now I got to redo all that work. So it doesn't make any damn sense that nobody would test these. So obviously the narrative they're giving us just isn't true, right? It's not true. So Acuity Brands is the company. Apparently everybody in the world gets their streetlights from Acuity Brands. And they somehow aren't bankrupt yet. Now, where is the work being done in fixing these, right? They said, oh, within a couple weeks, we're going to fix them. That was months ago, and I've not seen any work. And all of you, many of you, still contacting me saying, we've got new ones popping up. And we've seen they're on stretches of highways, they're in towns, cities. And like we said before, one of the key areas, I mean, they're in other places too, but for some reason, always on on-ramps and entranceways. Odd, right? Almost like it's set up to be that if any vehicles are going to enter this highway, you must pass under these purple lights, right? Kind of weird. Kind of weird. Why would they need you to pass under purple lights? Just to make your car or truck glow pretty cool if it's white? That doesn't make any sense. So then recently, one night, like I said before, I drove by a stretch of purple lights in the area where I've filmed a lot of these videos at. And what I saw was the same thing I always see. Purple lights. I wasn't there to film. I wasn't stopping. I was just driving through. Yep, there's all the purple lights. I can see them from a distance through trees, and then as you get closer, you know, then everything's just glowing purple. And there's some neon green handprints on the ground there somewhere. If anybody can find them, they react in the black light. Pretty cool. I left my trademark there. And we did this there, and this. We did some of the paintings there. But so they were all purple, just like always. I drove through a couple hours later, and this is at night, obviously, because they were on. Actually, I have some shots of them during the day too, and you know, you can see that they're purple. But this was, I don't know, 8 o'clock at night, roughly. And a couple hours later, I came back through. And when I came back through, they're white. They're white. That was odd. Right away, I was like, what the hell is going on here? These were just purple. Why are they suddenly white? But the ones for the on-ramp were still purple. And as of right now, the last time I passed through there, they were white. And aside from the on-ramp ones, were still purple. Same with the other side too. So there's east and west on-ramps. They're all apparently switched to white, except for on-ramps for both sides, still purple. That's kind of weird. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? And how would they do that? Did they send a crew out at 8 o'clock at night and they managed to get hundreds of these lights changed out within 2 hours before I came back again? But for some reason they were like, you just skip the on-ramp ones right here, even though they're right next to the other ones. Skip past them, keep going down the line, and we'll just leave those for now. And we'll get them tomorrow. But they didn't come back. They didn't come back and get them tomorrow. Just purple. Those were just still left purple. They're white. So that's odd. There was no sign of any work going on. So obviously I'm puzzled again. Why would this be? Now this, and something we've suspected and surmised before, was the possibility that these are hooked up to a network, perhaps, right? And they're controlled, and they can be changed. And what kind of network? I don't know. I don't know what kind of network. Maybe a big network that we've heard a lot about, and maybe a type of network that we've talked a lot about. We've done videos on this channel about it, that we've used meters. We use meters out here with these lights too. Got very, very high readings, much like readings that we would get when we went out and tested this type of network, that 5 network. Like I said, most of you are well aware, you've been here for a while. We've got to be careful with wording, especially what I'm going to get into in a minute, because we're going to have to say a lot of bad words. So we're going to be careful with it. So bear with me, and we're going to talk. What did I do here? Hold on, let me catch up here. I can't talk and read your comments at the same time. If I did, yeah, very big network indeed. I'll try to, we'll get into this in a minute, and I'll try to pay better attention to your comments, and we'll talk a little bit about that. And thank you everybody for being here. Window Liquid Pepper, I see you. Awesome. Thanks for making it. I don't know if there's any other mods in here. Yeah, 10,000 Lakes BC, thank you. You rock. Thank you for being here. Everybody else too, I appreciate you, obviously. Just trying to skip around here a little bit real quick. Obviously, Twisted Lady Luck is in the house, and she's also in the actual house as well. Let's see. All right, so hooked up to the network, right? A lot of us have surmised this, so this makes it seem a little more like that's accurate, like we suspect anyway, right? Like they can be controlled. So that's weird. Why would lights, street lights, need to be hooked up to a network? Doesn't make any sense, right? And why would you need to change the shades of a street light? And in the beginning, a lot of people were saying Li-Fi, right? They suspected Li-Fi, which is and I don't think these lights, personally, I don't think, unless they're multifunctional, it could be one of the functions, but Li-Fi, which basically is like Wi-Fi through light, in a nutshell. But I've not seen any, and that's a technology that's out there. That's something they're going to move towards, and that's something they're working on for the smart cities and things like that. That's something that's coming. That's something we'll be hearing a lot more of. If you haven't heard of Li-Fi, you will soon. But I didn't see any purple examples, right? When I researched Li-Fi, I didn't see any purple. It's all white, right? And on the Kelvin scale, it's typically between 3 and 5,000 K. Purple would be, I don't know, 10, 12,000 K. So they seem to be hooked up to a network, but why? Now, here's what's crazy. I've noticed some things in the, and these are things I was going to talk about in just a regular video, and we probably will still, but recently in the past week, I saw some headlines which were weird. Headlines that we typically see on mainstream media and the MSM, especially, you know, ones like CNN, and, you know, it doesn't matter. Some people, you know, they're like, we like Fox, I hate CNN. I don't like either one of them. They're both, you know, it's all just, it's all fairy tale, and, you know, it's all, they lean on one side. They're not going to report on one thing. They're going to make the other side look bad and make themselves look good, you know. So it's all the same in different ways. So, but I look through this every day to try to see what's being pushed, what they're trying to sell people, what type of fear they're pushing out there, because unfortunately, a lot of people do buy into that. So I see these headlines that say the other big thing going on right now, that we have to CV, right? That whole thing that's going on, that everybody's, you know, putting the diapers on their faces for, and drinking Kool-Aid for, the big scary boogeyman, right? So we've typically, in most of the videos, we've referred to that as the boogeyman. And I'm not going to go down that path in this video. I'm going to try to stick with just purple lights tonight. So I'm going to try not to stray. But the boogeyman, they're saying, wow, suddenly, boogeyman cases have dropped, I think they said 44% or something in a week. And this is all recent. This is like yesterday and the day before. So the cluster, just the past couple days. Everything I'm about to say, all within the past couple days. Suddenly, this has just dropped. So my first thought was, well, how weird is that? Because usually it's doom and gloom, right? It's hey, watch out, watch out. This is going to get you. You better hide. It's going to get you. You better go have another dose of Kool-Aid. Drink extra Kool-Aid because boogeyman. is gonna get you. Boogeyman's coming for you. The boogeyman hasn't found you yet. It's still looking. Don't worry, it's gonna get you, right? And the boogeyman's big and mean and nasty. And then there's all these different types of boogeymans that form because the boogeymen, they breed. I guess just the boogeymen couldn't breed. So the boogeymen and the boogie women, they breed, right? Well, we're not supposed to say that, I guess, anymore. But we're gonna, because it's accurate, right? Boogeymen and boogie women. There isn't any boogie. There is no other boogie. Boogeymen and boogie women. They breed. They create these different variations of boogie things. And they always want you to fear it. So why would they suddenly report this drastic drop? And then I see another one that says 73% of the U.S. population has developed a force field against the boogeyman, right? So, or at least one version of the boogeyman, the latest version of the boogeyman. But I just saw today. Now they got a new version. It's like the most recent Boogeyman 2.0 is coming out now, right? Apple, I think, is getting ready to release it. Actually, that might not. That's probably pretty accurate, or Billy anyway. But anyway, so suddenly the headlines aren't doom and gloom. They're like, oh, look at this, right? So I'm like, well, that's weird. This is very strange. And all at the same time, right? So see the lights being switched to white. These headlines are coming up. And now, so this is brand new. This came up yesterday, and I didn't get a chance to test it myself yet, but we will definitely be looking into this within the next several days, within the next week. So my dad contacts me last night, and you've seen some videos. We've gone out over the past couple of years, and we've done some meter readings, some the RF meter, and we've tested some areas near some towers, schools, between towers, playgrounds. And we know that in the beginning, when the boogeyman first showed up, right, and they said everybody had to stay inside at night, right, and the boogeyman doesn't go to Walmart. The boogeyman only goes to mom and pop shops. So Walmart can stay open because you're safe, and then after 9 o'clock at night, you must be in your house, otherwise the boogeyman will find you. During the day, though, you're okay. I lost myself here for a minute. This is the drawbacks of lives, right? So during that time, a lot of these little towers and antennas started popping up everywhere. And that's what I went out and documented and tested, right? Especially all around schools. We showed schools where, for some reason, all over the tops of the buildings and light poles in the parking lot, like every light pole, they had these antennas everywhere, and they did this at night during the lockdowns, right? Which is weird. Why? If we have such a crazy, scary boogeyman coming around, I don't know what you're getting, but mods, awesome. I only saw that, so you guys rock. If the boogie people are so scary and it's so bad, why is now there a focus? We need a better network. It's a good time to get some network connectivity work done, right? Why would we do this? So that's odd too. And we did the meter testings, right? We went everywhere and tested them. Crazy high readings, very unsafe readings. We did schools, playgrounds, other areas near these network things that they erected and modified, right? Terrible readings, high readings. Same around these purple lights, super high readings. So he went out yesterday and tested some areas that he's tested before with super high readings, and suddenly very low readings, right? Very safe, very low readings in the same areas where before astronomical, dangerous. Not that they're going to tell us about it, but this is why we try to share information, right? You know, some people want to call you crazy, and as history has shown over the past couple of years, we're crazy, right? Other people say we're crazy. I'm crazy. You're crazy. Many of us are crazy until we're not, right? And now the mainstream talks about many of the things we talked about a year ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago. And, you know, actually we'd be punished for saying it back then, right? And they, oh, that's bad information. That's not true. You can't do that. You're harming people. But now they say the exact same things. It's the exact same, right? So it's crazy until it's not. But suddenly, low safe reading. So he went around and he checked some other places because he's thinking, you know, is something wrong with the meter? Is something not working? So he tested the meter to make sure it works, and it works. So he tested some other areas that were giving off high readings. They're not giving off high readings. So what happened here? What went on here? So we've got suddenly these light. Oh, and let me add in there too. So I contacted the in that area where I found the lights that switched to white. I knew there's no way they did work, right? Because I was there a couple hours later. I'm back again. They're done. There was no workers out there. There was no trucks. There was nothing out there. So unless they flipped a switch, which shouldn't be the case if what they're telling us is true, then they didn't do anything. So I contacted the DOT again for that same specific area where I got records for, one of the places I got records for before and shared with you. I told them that I'm now looking for any work that's been done from January 1st, 2022 until today, because, you know, they just went white. And I've got the records from before then. From today, any work that has been done, I want, again, the shop records, any documentation, anything, any costs, or, you know, just anything related to that work that's been done on those same lights in that same area from the beginning of the year until now. After a couple days, they got back with me. They didn't send me any records because there was none to send me. They just sent me an email that said they have no records that align with my request. So no work has been done. So these lights went white. And they didn't just fix themselves, right? They didn't just suddenly, and the same number of, you know, there's, I don't remember the exact number, but let's say there's, you know, 4 purple ones still on the on-ramp on this side. These ones over here are white. Over there on that on-ramp, 4 still purple, right? So that's just, either we are in the most ironic time in world history, the most coincidental time humans have ever experienced, or there's just no coincidence and everything is related, as, you know, we suspect. But so what do we make of that, right? And a lot of the point of here, you know, what I wanted to do, why I wanted to talk about this, is for a lot of you to share information in here and be able to talk amongst yourselves, which, you know, and I want to try to pick up on some of this too. And we're experimenting too. Or may do more live streams. This is something that I've talked about and I want to do. And we're going to experiment with it now that we got the audio done. So I might try to make this a regular or semi-regular thing. But I want to get into that in a minute and see what you guys think, because, and girls, see what you think, because this is, do we have answers to all of this yet? Do we have a, you know, definitive answers and reasons to all this? No, we have lots of suspicions. Now, we know that UV light has been, it has the capability of being weaponized, right? We have seen evidence, documented evidence, right? Have I seen it myself firsthand? I haven't, not yet anyway, but I have some thoughts to show that these are in fact part of a network, connected to that network. I haven't seen it myself, but we've seen some documentation, some evidence out there, right? And it makes sense. I absolutely believe that they are. In the beginning, I wasn't sure. I suspected it, but now personally, I believe that they are. We've seen lots of theories, right? We've seen within the Kool-Aid, there are elements within the Kool-Aid that will glow under a black light, allegedly will glow. Again, I haven't been able to test this myself, but, you know, could that be part of it? I do know of a person personally who that person's brother has Kool-Aid, and his brother says that he does in fact have a glowing area after having Kool-Aid, and he said that he saw it himself. So, and it's that source, I believe it. You know, I want to see it myself. I'm never going to say anything is fact on here until I see it for myself. But it's credible. Just like the magnetic meat, you know. I saw videos and stuff, and I said, well, this is crazy if it's true, but I really want to see for myself, because there are different things that people maybe could do to make it look like the magnet's sticking, and I honestly expected it not to work till I went out, and yeah, it worked. It's absolutely magnetic, and I showed you the videos, but you know, suggested that you do it yourself, because like me, you know, people are going to be skeptical, be like, oh, maybe because of this, maybe because of that, and see for yourself. But yeah, it's absolutely true. So a lot of, you know, so I want to see things for myself, but could that be part of the reason? Also, the labeling, right? The UV labeling, the bio tagging and things like that, where they're got this technology where they can label products, label packaging, and it's read even from a distance with a UV light, right? But beyond that, and this is, you know, this is out there for everybody to find. This is actual stuff. This is not like hidden crazy stuff. This is stuff that companies and organizations come out and they boast about it. They say, hey, we have this technology, new and exciting, right? And it's for your safety, like everything, right? They try to sell everything to us like it's here for us. It's good, right? We need this. Just like that network, you know, because the 3 network wasn't good enough. You need to load your videos faster than that, right? So everybody rush out. You need to have this new network. But they try to sell everything to us as if we need it. So they put it out there. Oh, this is going to be great. We're going to be able to track things. If there's any production issues, we'll be able to see where it came from, what time, where it was shipped. We'll have all this information in this invisible tag that we read with light, you know, and it'll tell us everything about it. So then it goes a little bit further. They have the technology where they're doing it to food. They can do it to food. And I'm not talking about on the packaging of the food. I'm talking about on the food, right? And then this also gets into things with the graph. It's another thing. I don't even want to say that whole word, but yeah, here, this is what we'll do. The second word, the oxide, right, is the second word, and that's not the full word, right? We've got that showing up in things, Kool-Aid and other things, and this is so we've got a lot going on, a lot of irony right now, right? In the most coincidental time. We've got this tagging. We know they can do it. Now imagine if they have, I would imagine they would tag cattle, farm animals, stuff like that, right? Because then they can track them, they can find out all sorts of things about them, all sorts of information. They can even find out about their health, right? The current health. How is this cow doing? What is this cow doing? Has this cow had its vitamins? Now just imagine, right? I don't think I even have to tell you. Just imagine. Yeah, I know you know the words. Dragon Slayer. Yeah, I think everybody is on the same page. But with that graph word in other videos, there's always people that in the comments, they'll be like, it's, and they spell it out for me like I don't know. The reason we don't use these words is because we can't. We can't. It's frowned upon. You won't see these videos if we use those words. So, and I know most of everybody that's here right now, you're on the same page, and we speak in this foreign language, and we have to. But yeah, so there's only a few, but here and there, and it's not a bad thing. Sometimes maybe people are like, oh, he doesn't know the word, whatever. Maybe it's innocent. Other times people are just they think they're like, oh, he doesn't know. I'm gonna fix him. So All of these things all at the same time. So was something turned down? Was something turned off? Suddenly, there's no coincidence that they're claiming all these rates suddenly have dropped, right? They've dropped. At the same time, these lights have been flipped to white, right? With no record of any work being done. RF readings suddenly that were dangerously high, now they're super low, right? What's going on? What's going on? I would suspect that all of these are connected. Now, I don't think it would be, if things were turned down, turned off, and again, I don't know. These are just possibilities, right? I'm not claiming to know. And anybody who does claim to know, that's, you know, that's arrogance or whatever, because we have to be open to everything. And the more, I don't write anything off as crazy anymore, because what we've seen over the past couple of years, the more crazy it seems, the more true it seems to be. And, you know, later it turns out, oh yeah, the craziest option sounded to be, you know, turned out to be true. But I suspect if they are saying, hey, let your guard down, you know, calm down, let your guard down, which that's what I saw from these headlines right away. They're like, oh, hey, you know, the boogeyman's not as strong anymore. The boogeyman's kind of backing off a little bit. He's walking away. Maybe he's going to go home for a while. To me, that's a red flag, because I don't, you know, make you look over here and slap you on this side of the face. So I definitely would be paying attention. And of course, we got a lot of other things going on too. And, you know, there's distractions, right? There's distraction and there's events. There's forever, we've seen events that are put in place to make us look a certain direction. And we all know what these events are. We know when they're events, or we suspect when they're events. But it's hard. You don't know what the event is, what's real and what's the event. You never know. So that's why it's important that we're prepared for anything, and we're always paying attention to everything, right? And don't look get too focused on one thing, especially when they're like, hey, look at this. Everybody look over here. Everybody, we need your attention over here. Look, 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 look. It's important to look over there too, right? Have a peek what they're talking about, just so you know. But look over there, over here, behind you. Open those eyes in the back of your head, the top of your head, the side of your head. Because something else is probably going to come and slap you on the other side of the face. That's what that's where I am right here, right now with that. I don't know. Those headlines right away, it seems fishy to me. It seems like they want to guard down. But then being at the same time as all this stuff, because a lot of people have talked about and have shown evidence of that a lot of the things going on in today's time, a lot of ailments people have could be induced by certain things, right? It could be by maybe perhaps networks. So now we see some potential indications of some network changes, or some things within the network changing, and at the same time all these rates dropping, right? It seems odd to me. And I've told you before that I see a lot of things, right? Those videos I did, that series of videos I did for a while, and that were called, I think, rare things that I'm seeing a lot of, because they said with the Kool-Aid, right, there's very rare and very small chance that, you know, something bad might happen, right? Negative effect. The negative things are very, very few and far between. So don't worry about it. Just drink up, and then go and have an extra and drink this glass over here. And oh no, we didn't mean just one glass and you'll be fixed. No, you'll never be fixed. You got to keep drinking glasses, right? They say, but I happen to see a lot of those negative things, right? So many. That's why I did those series of videos, I'm never out. My goal is always to help people share. I want to learn. I want to know about things. I want to look into things for myself, see with your own eyes, think with your own mind, right? That's what I'm always doing. I want to know, and I want to share information. So I always want to help people. I've always just wanted to help people. I don't want, to spread fear ever. I don't want people to be afraid. I think people should be aware, right? Prepared, not scared. And I want to learn. I learn from many of you too. I've got, just in comments and emails and everything, there's so much information, and who knows, everything that that's been shared in here tonight. I'm sure people are sharing experiences, things that they're seeing, suspicions. This is what I want to do. This is what I do. So I'm never out to spread fear, but I want people to know. And sometimes when it seems to me that the big booming voice of the mainstream, when there's a big voice that to me seems like they're not trying to help people when they're saying they're trying to help people, and they're doing just the opposite. I want to share reality, right? I want to share reality, and then when that reality is censored, that's another red flag. But I saw a lot of that stuff. But also in this time now, since all of this has come out, right? All of this, the lights went white. Again, not all of them, but we did find actually more the other night. Some that we hadn't driven past are also now white. There's still others that are purple, but a lot of them white. No record of work. But the reasons that people were going to seek, they were having ailments, that has dropped too. People suddenly, they're not showing up. They're not going in. They're not saying, oh, I have this sniffle. I'm worried about this sniffle. Suddenly, all these things have dropped. And what I was seeing, which I've told you, I've put out, many times, the majority are Kool-Aid drinkers. Not the other way around, like they want you to believe. It's people who drink Kool-Aid, right? They want you to believe that it's non-Kool-Aid drinkers, but it's people who've had Kool-Aid. I would say, and this is honestly with my own eyes, 90% people going in, into those, occupying those places that they said were so packed, right? Full of people who just don't listen to reason. 90% Kool-Aid, and 10% people just in fear. They get that sniffle and they're like, oh my God. And, they want to find out. So that dropped. These headlines where they're telling you now everything, oh, don't worry, it's not as bad suddenly. The lights turn white, the low RF readings, I don't know. That, again, coincidence, we're either in the most coincidental time in world history, or nothing is coincidence and everything's related. And to me, I think we put puzzle pieces together. And when you add 2 and 2 and it comes up with 4, well, that's just because you did good math, right? And basic, very simple math that, a 4-year-old could do. But it really seems to me that something that could affect all of these things has been altered for some reason. And, but I don't know why. And I would think if that was the case, something else is brewing. Something's coming. I'm going to look through some of these comments real quick. What time is it? How long have we gone on so far? So I'm trying not to... we've been here almost an hour already. I'm going to check some of the comments real quick. Just see anything else in here. Yeah. Has anybody seen any of the that's what I'm curious of. Any of these lights that you've seen purple, have you seen them turn white? And if so, have you seen physical work be done to them? So far, I've not found anything like that, and I'm not yeah, mark of the beast, but may lead up to it. Yeah, I agree. Watching from Wyoming, Mary Miles, awesome, in Wyoming. You haven't seen any lights, but you will in Kentucky. I definitely got headlines from Kentucky When I went through, I don't know if I put them in the video or not, but there was definitely local headlines about purple lights in Kentucky. I don't remember what areas, but I found, so if you didn't see them yet, you will. And that's what I've been saying too for a while. If you have not seen these things yet, you will. And also, if I added some emails, some contact emails. So for anybody, they're now in the description, so it shouldn't be an issue. But if you've used it before, it's always twistedlucktruth@gmail.com. Still have that email, but that gets too full with all sorts of things. So for any information and anything about the purple lights or anything else, it's in the description, but twistedluckinfo@gmail.com. I added that, and trying to clean up the email so I can find your emails better. And if any of you, if you've emailed me and I haven't gotten back to you, I'm not ignoring you. Your emails just gets buried. I've seen a bunch in Tampa, but none yet. Yeah, they're all over Florida, and obviously I'm in Florida, so we see them here. But and I think other areas are the same as here. I think it's, we see a ton of them here, and I think that's what everybody is seeing. And I've found the headlines from other countries in Canada too, areas in the UK and Canada, Ireland. I don't remember where, but I think it's the same thing everywhere. Yeah, they're everywhere. Dragon Slayer everywhere around Tampa. I've actually seen a lot about Tampa, and actually one of the news, several of the news articles I found were in Tampa. A bunch of different news stories out there. More local news stories in Tampa, actually, than any city I found in the country. So you guys must have a ton of them out there. People asking a lot of questions. You don't go out after dark. Your cars are deer magnets. I had an uncle whose car was a deer magnet. We called him Tommy Boy. His name is Tom, but if you saw that movie, one night he was driving a van. They had like 25 kids. So drove one of those big like Dodge church van type of things. And you talk about deer magnets. So he was driving one night, and country road, this is up in Massachusetts, and a big deer ran out in front of him. Boom! He blasted the deer with the van and did a lot of damage. And this is a while back, so I can't remember exactly. It was either right after it got back from the shop, or it was within a couple of nights. I don't remember exactly. He's driving down that same stretch of road again. This time, 2 deer come running out, but he didn't hit them. They hit the van. They didn't stop. They just ran right into the side of the van, the passenger side of the van, and did a lot of damage. Deer can be nasty. There's been fatal crashes. Cows, too. Cows are nasty. Cows can do some damage. There's a ton in Charlotte, North Carolina, huh? So has anybody seen? I'm gonna look through here a little bit. Bear with me. Talk amongst yourselves or to me. Either way, I'm gonna scroll through a little bit. Oh, you hit one just a year ago? A deer or the cow went to liquor? Bowling Green. All right, I'm gonna scroll through a little bit real quick. I'm just gonna pick and choose. We're gonna get out of here in a minute. See, I talk too much. I didn't say everything I wanted to say. We're already an hour in. Aloha, everybody. Hawaii. You're always here. You make it here a lot. I appreciate you. That was Steve from Hawaii. These are old comments. I scrolled up. How quickly can they switch lights? That was asked a little bit ago. Exactly. That's the thing. If they're going to switch them to white, right? If there's actually a problem and nobody checked any of these lights and they're supposed to be white but they're purple and they have to go physically fix them, that's not going to happen quick, right? It's more believable to me that when I see them all normal, purple, and 2 hours later they're all white, that seems to me that a switch was flipped. And that would make the narrative not true. That would mean those are some kind of special street lights. They ain't your typical street light. in rural Illinois. Yeah, see, they're everywhere. Rural Illinois, and entranceways to things, whether it's on ramps, entrances to, to cities, to towns, to, subdivisions or, communities, whatever. Entranceways everywhere. That's just crazy to me. And why would they suddenly be, that's just what it seems like. It seems like, that it's set up so you must, to enter this area, whether it's this town, the subdivision, this neighborhood, this highway, it's set up so you must pass under them to get on there, right? And then you drive down, there's more down the road, or you might go through with no lights or white lights and then purple again at the next on ramps. And it makes sense to me if they were trying to read some type of tag, just like they would with the biotagging with cattle or something like that, right? How would they read it? They pass through these lights, and picture that. So picture cattle, a big farm or whatever, and they have this technology. All the cows have been biotagged, and they read it with these UV lights, right? They don't have to sit there and manually read it every tag. The cattle walk through this area where the UV lights are, and it just picks up. It reads every one of them. They know what cow that is. They know the temperature of that cow right now. They know if he's got gas. They know if he's eaten. They know if they know everything about him. They might even know his thoughts. I don't know, but you know what I mean? See where I'm going with that? Imagine if the cattle drove cars and got on the highway, or if the cattle were trying to, let's say the farmers had something planned for the cattle that the cattle wouldn't really like. The cattle would maybe reject and not want to. The cow, they'd be like, "We're not playing your silly reindeer games, farmer. We just don't want any part of this." And they want to keep good track of the cattle because they're like, you know what, this is going to make the cattle do all sorts of crazy things. This is going to make the cattle run away. They're going to make the cattle, they may form groups over here. They might go this way. They might do this. So what's a good way that we could keep track of all of these cattle, even if they don't want to be tracked? How could we keep track of these cattle? That'd be a pretty good way, to keep track of that cattle. Would be, obviously because the cattle drive cars, in this hypothetical story, the cattle drive cars and trucks and stuff. So the cattle would use the cattle highway, and and they'd be like, if anybody's driving too slow, cheesy joke coming up, they'd be like, move. You like that, right? She'll be here all week. Don't forget to tip your waitress. Let's see. All right. But that would be a way to keep good track. Now, they couldn't track all of the cattle anyway. If any of the cattle escaped the tagging, and maybe they wouldn't be like, hey, come here, cow, we have a tag for you. We're going to put a tag on you now. Maybe they would tell the cattle, hey, this is just something you want. This is delicious. Or have a drink of this. It'll make you feel better because you got some kind of cow sickness, and this will make you feel better. Don't worry about it. It's just to help you. And then they got this thing into the cow, but it's for the cow's own good, right? Just for the cow's own good. I don't know. It sounds crazy to me, which means it's, history has shown over the past couple of years, the crazier it sounds. Like I said, the more true it's probably going to be. So we're going to West Virginia Prepared Mind. You're here too. Awesome. Thank you for being here. I talked a lot, I guess, because we just burned through an hour super quick, and I was trying to keep it under an hour. So let me know what you guys think. We're gonna cut this. We're gonna go. Share your thoughts. There's so much more to talk about with this. We could honestly go on about this for hours because there's just so much. And I didn't even get into your emails. I wanted to get into emails I've been sent too. But let me know what you think if you watch this later. Put it in, I'll go through this later, the live chat, and see what you guys think. And or in the comments, do you want to do more of these lives? I want to, everything we've done here, we've done together. So I appreciate all of you, and your input matters. So we'll see what we see. We'll see if we do it some more. there's a few different things we could do lives on, but I kind of like it. I like having the opportunity, everybody having the opportunity to be able to share their information instead of always just me. You know, people leave comments and stuff like that, but not everybody sees comments. So when people are in here in the live chat, everybody can share things in real time, and I like that. Not so easy for me to read it all, but you know, amongst all of yourselves, and I can read it later. So thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna shut up now. We got so much more to go through on this, but I don't want to keep you more than an hour. And but I appreciate you, everybody that came out, all the mods. Thank you, you guys and lady, or I guess guy and ladies. You rock. Twisted Lady Luck was here, obviously. I appreciate her very, very much. She has no idea actually how much I appreciate her. That's a true statement. I appreciate her far more than she could have any possible idea, and more ways than she could possibly have any clue, even a slight little clue. And that's very, very true. But thank you guys, rock and girls. Everybody rocks. I appreciate you for being here. Let me know what you think in the live chat here or in static comments after this video goes static. We'll do it again. We'll figure it out. Oh, yeah. See, I'm so sweet, right? I'm so sweet. But no, I'm genuine. I'm being serious. But thank you so much for being here for this first, not really the first, but this first decent kind of with good audio live stream. Maybe the first of many. We'll see. Thanks so much for being here. I appreciate you. Twisted Luck Truth. I'll see you soon.